Strange Magic, written by Suzana Thompson, narrated by Sarah Sampino. Chapter 2. For the first time in my life, I had a secret. I had debated how much to tell Caitlin about my encounter with Duncan in the park. As promised, she had called to tell me about her date with Alex. She was thrilled that he had asked her to go out with him again that weekend. After that, I casually mentioned my conversation with Duncan, except for the strange turn it had taken in the end. I couldn't even explain what had happened to myself, let alone to Caitlin. Instead, I allowed her to indulge in fantasies about future double dates. I had dinner ready when my parents arrived home from work. We talked about my first day of school. I told them about my classes. Because he was so much on my mind, I even mentioned Duncan, the new student. "So," my mom said while we were loading the dishwasher, "do you like this new boy?" I looked at her in surprise. "What makes you think that?" Mom laughed. "Don't be so shocked. I was young once, too. Is he cute?" I shrugged. "He's okay, I guess." "You guess, huh? Nice try. So, definitely cute." Mom winked at me. I dropped the casual attitude. "Mom, do you think I should cut my hair?" "Do you want to cut your hair?" I shook my head. "No, but Caitlin thinks I should change my look." Mom's expression became serious. "Oh, honey, don't think that you need to change for anyone. If this boy doesn't like you the way you are, then he doesn't deserve you. If you change your look, it should only be to please yourself." "Thanks, Mom." I gave her a heartfelt hug. Still, I fussed over my appearance the next morning. I felt nervous about seeing Duncan again. The last time I saw him, the mood between us had been tense. I was surprised when he greeted me with a friendly smile when I saw him in English class. "Hi, Suzannah. How are you today?" I smiled at him uncertainly. I'm, fine. How are you?" He continued on in the same friendly tone. "Very well. I'm getting to know more people here. It was hard to leave my friends behind and start over at a new school." I was relieved that he seemed to have forgotten about yesterday's strange episode in the park. Our chat was interrupted by Mr. Gates calling the class to order. I was only half listening to his lecture. Hope awakened within me. Maybe Duncan liking me wasn't so far-fetched. Maybe Caitlin was right. Maybe I should listen to her and change my look. Maybe I will cut my hair, I mused. "I hope you don't cut your hair," Duncan said pensively. "I really like it long." I turned to look at him. I hadn't realized that I had spoken aloud. "Thank you," I said, taking pleasure in his compliment. I'm so used to it being this length that I don't think I could cut it really short. The appraising way that Duncan was looking at me made me suddenly nervous again. "Caitlin says that I should at least change the color. She says it's too plain." I realized that I was rambling and looked down at my desk in embarrassment. "I don't think it's plain at all," Duncan said. "It's quite a beautiful, rich brown." I looked at him shyly. "Thanks. That's so nice of you to say." Ben, the boy sitting behind me, tapped my shoulder. "You better put your cell phone away. If Gates catches you, he'll give you detention." "I don't—" "At least text if you have to. You can do that quietly." "I'm not talking on the phone." "Right," Ben said. "You were just talking to yourself." We were interrupted by Mr. Gates. "What is going on here? You're supposed to be taking notes. I give pop quizzes regularly. You need to pay attention if you hope to pass this class." He stalked back to the front of the class to continue his lecture. I looked at Duncan in bewilderment. "I like your pretty brown eyes, too," he said. His lips never moved. As soon as class was over, I sprang from my seat and rushed to the restroom. I splashed cool water on my flushed face. What was happening to me? Was I losing my mind? My stomach lurched at the thought of Duncan hearing me talking to myself. What must he think of me now? It was all too much. I went straight to the nurse. My mom left work and picked me up. I wanted to hide in my room forever. "I don't know about leaving you here by yourself," Mom said anxiously. "I can reschedule my meeting." No, I said. I'll be fine. I just need to lie down for a while. Mom still looked uncertain. You're not running a fever, but you look flushed. I hope you're not coming down with something. I assured her that I would call her if I needed anything. I finally convinced her to leave. If only rest could truly cure what ailed me. I wondered if it was possible to actually die from embarrassment. How could I ever face Duncan again? I went over everything that had happened since I met him. If I hadn't told Caitlin about my dream, I would have thought that I imagined the whole thing. Maybe I would have written it off as a case of déjà vu. Now I couldn't make sense of anything. Caitlin called during her lunch break. Where are you? I told her that I had suddenly taken ill. I'm sorry I didn't text you to let you know I was going home, but I felt terrible. Oh, Susie, I'm sorry. I hope it's not the flu. It seems like it's too early for the flu. No, I think it's just an upset stomach. I don't have a fever. I wanted to pour my heart out to Caitlin and tell her everything. I felt scared and lonely and confused. This was not something that I could get into over the phone, however. Ever optimistic, Caitlin was sure that I would feel better after lots of rest. You'll be back to normal tomorrow. You'll see. I wondered if anything would ever be normal again. Hearing Caitlin's voice did make me feel a little better. She quickly got to what she had been dying to tell me. Did you hear? Mandy broke up with Brad. Can you believe it? They've been going together for what? Like 2 years, I think. Just a couple of days ago, this news would have made me secretly happy. It would have given me hope, however unrealistic, that I now had a chance with Brad. Caitlin was right. Brad and Mandy had been Valley View High's golden couple for a long time. This news did nothing to cheer me up. I was mostly quiet as Caitlin talked about the breakup. Okay, Caitlin said. I can tell that you really are sick. Feel better soon. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I spent the rest of the day in bed. Mom tried to get me to eat something, but I couldn't stomach the thought of food. My sleep that night was fractured. I got ready for school with a knot in my stomach. At least it was Friday. I just had to make it through today. When Caitlin picked me up for school, I immediately launched into an enthusiastic conversation about her date with Alex that evening. She wasn't fooled. She was uncharacteristically silent for a while. Okay, she said. What is going on with you? Don't tell me that you're just not feeling well. I can see that you're upset. What happened? I looked away. Honestly, I don't know where to begin. Does it have something to do with Duncan? Caitlin was already pulling into the school parking lot when she asked me that question. Yes, I said. It has a lot to do with Duncan, but we don't have time to talk about this now. Okay, Caitlin agreed. At lunch, then. I shook my head. I can't talk about this at school. Can you come over my house tomorrow? I can stop over after school, Caitlin said as we got out of her car. No, I said. This will take a while. You need to get ready for your date. Caitlin stopped walking. Susie, have you been keeping secrets from me? I demand that you tell me everything. I will. I nudged her to get her going. I promise I'll tell you everything tomorrow. We parted ways when we entered the school. We didn't have time to stop at our lockers together. Once I didn't have her to distract me, my distress returned to a heightened state. I dreaded seeing Duncan again. Maybe I would cut English today. To my dismay, Duncan was waiting for me by my locker. I stared at him wide-eyed, then I dropped my gaze to the floor. If only it would open up and swallow me. I was overcome with embarrassment. Bravo, Duncan said. You are quite the actress. I looked up at him to make sure that he was actually speaking this time. The friendly demeanor was gone. He had a cynical smirk on his face. Oh, nice touch with the innocent eyes. What are you talking about? My voice came out in barely more than a whisper. Duncan got in my face. Do you think I'm a fool? I don't, I sputtered. I'm warning you, Duncan said. Stay away from me. I'm not in the mood for your games. With that, he spun around and stormed off. I stared after him, my embarrassment forgotten. Hysteria threatened to overwhelm me. Of all the reactions I had been expecting, anger was not one of them. What could I possibly have done to provoke him to such hostility?